Oh yeah, definitely. It's very easy. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh sure. Okay, so I'll just get right into it. So these 3 containers that I have here are considered accelerometers. So an accelerometer is a device that detects acceleration, right?
Okay.
So for example, I have this water bottle like this. Could we say the water is level, right?
Yeah.
Relatively level. If I apply a force in this direction, it doesn't matter how fast that force is, but if I apply a force in this direction from being at rest, what direction will the water go? To the front or to the back, or will it stay level?
To the back.
To the back, exactly. So the water gets pushed to the back, right? So now, this accelerometer here, again, it's air and a ping pong ball. If I apply a force in that direction, what direction will the ping pong ball go? Exactly, it goes to the back. And what do you know why it goes to the back?
Isn't it because, I don't know how to explain it beyond like, the force of this is separate from the force of this, and then when you move it, the thing stays in the same spot.
Exactly, due to inertia.
Yeah.
It's inertia. Inertia is a resistance to motion. So again, the air's not dense enough to push on the ping pong ball, so it stays in its relative position, right? Now here, I have a buoyant object. So it's a ping pong ball in water. If I apply a force in this direction, what direction is the ball going to move?
Is it still going to go that way?
No, no, it actually goes forward. See that? You want to know why that happens? Do you guys know why that happens? Well, when I apply a force in this direction, the force of the water bottle pushing on the water, of the container pushing on the water creates a pressure gradient. And that pressure gradient, because the water's more dense than the ping pong ball, is able to push it in that same direction. So that's what buoyancy is. So buoyancy is the effect, of a container that's in motion. So let me ask you guys this. If I was to hold any of these containers in free fall, for example, like this, holding it at rest, and then I release it, do you guys believe it accelerated down towards the earth? Yeah? So, again, I did it in slow motion just to show you guys real quick. So when I actually... 1 second, I should have had this ready. So when I actually apply a force, which is the one on the right, you can see the water displacing, again, due to inertia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one on the left is free fall. It has no reaction to the acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, in free fall, there is no measurable force or acceleration. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys knew gravity is just a theory. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's a theory, because it has never been proven. So a physical downwards acceleration has never been proven because matter doesn't react to that acceleration in free fall. And again, I can show you, I did it with a dense object and a ping pong ball in water. Can you tell which one's the one that accelerated down? The one on the right, because that shows the reaction to the acceleration. Again, the one on the left is free fall. There is no reaction to acceleration. So basically, gravity doesn't exist as a pulling force. So again, if we understand that buoyancy follows the direction of the force because it gets pushed by the medium that's being pushed, if I let a helium balloon go, what direction is the force?
It's going up?
Yeah, the force is up. So do you know why the helium balloon goes up?
This helium is less dense than air.
Yeah, but not only that, the air is pushing it up.
Right.
Again, because it's more dense, it's able to push it up. We know inanimate matter cannot move on its own. So what's pushing up the air?
Is it the air underneath it?
Well, what's pushing up that air?
The ground?
Exactly. I don't know if you knew, when you release an object into free fall, it's not the ground that moves down to the earth, it's the earth that moves up to the object. Exactly. So what does that mean? Well, you guys believe the earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
If we could prove physically that the ground is moving up, literally, and up is relative on a ball in every direction away from the center, how can the earth be moving up in every direction if it was a ball at the same time? That would mean the earth will have to be expanding by the second, which wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So in reality, it's literally the earth is a level plane, extended plane, and it's literally moving up like this. So that number one proof, it debunks the globe earth. The fact that there is no physical downward acceleration and it's the earth that's moving up to the object. So because that wouldn't work from a globe. So in order for people to believe in the ball earth, they first have to believe in this idea of a pulling force. And that's why they push it on us when we were so young, because they want us to believe that the earth is a ball. They want to make us believe that this reality is something that it's not.
Right.
So the fact is that the earth is a level plane, that it's literally pushing up against you right now. So you're not being pulled down to the earth right now, it's the earth pushing up against you. And your body, every piece of matter has inertia. It wants to remain motionless because inanimate matter cannot move on its own. because matter has inertia, that's the reason why you have weight. That's the pushback. So again, they interpret this pushback and they call it gravity, but gravity is not, again, it's not a force. It's literally just inertia. So this falls due to inertia because everything's moving together right now. Because if you're in a car driving down the freeway 60 miles an hour, everything in that car is moving at 60 miles an hour. Same thing with the earth. Everything is moving up right now together with the earth. So something that's not connected to the earth, it starts to lose that motion. So this never moves down to the earth. Again, it's the earth that moves up to it. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick hint, I guess, because I know you guys heard of flat earth, right?
Yeah.
So over 95% of flat earthers are controlled opposition. They're all bullshitters online. Why? Because they're all claiming the earth is motionless. So they too believe in this magical force.
So you're saying it's flat but with motion?
Yes, but it's level though, because level is an orientation. And in order to have orientation, you require motion, you require a force. Without a force, you have no orientation. So in outer space, you have no orientation. There's no up or down or left or right. What gives us that up and down? It's the Earth's motion. I don't know if you guys knew, a force is something that's in motion. So magnitude in a particular direction. So the Earth is that mass that's in motion. That's why the force is only detectable when you're connected to the Earth. When you're in free fall, you're weightless. In other words, there is no force in free fall. Because again, it's the Earth that's literally pushing up.
Well, we kind of have to go. But it's
yeah, so do you guys want to take some information? I go to other universities and have conversations like this all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, you guys can give it a read. Again, this is the #1 censored topic online. That's why I'm out here.
Right.
And yeah, you guys give it a look. You want one too? Or?
We'll just use this one.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it. Take care.
Hi there.
Hey, you guys want to give it a shot?
Give it a shot.
So, very easy, very easy. So, I have 3 containers here. And these are considered accelerometers, and the reason why they're considered accelerometers is because they detect acceleration. So if I have this at rest with water, obviously, could we say that water is level, right? Yeah. When it's at rest. If I was to accelerate it in this direction or apply a force in this direction, what direction is the water going to go? To the back. Yeah, exactly. So if I go this way, the water goes to the back. If I go this way, the water goes to the back in this direction. Do you know why that happens?
Yeah.
Yes, you got it. The resistance to motion. Yeah. So because matter has inertia, it resists motion or change in motion. So this accelerometer, it's a ping pong ball surrounded by air. If I apply a force in this direction, what direction is the ball going to go?
The back.
Backwards? The back. So if I go this way, again, it goes to the back. Because the air's not dense enough to push it. So therefore the ball, it stays in its relative position in space because of inertia again. It goes in the opposite direction of the force due to inertia. Here, this is obviously a buoyant object. It's less dense than the medium that surrounds it. If I apply a force in that direction, what direction is the ball going to go?
I feel like it's different because of density, but I'm going to say back again.
Back again?
Back.
This actually goes to the front. Because it's less dense, so when I apply a force in this direction, the bottle pushing on the water is able to, the water is then able to push anything that's less dense in that same direction. So that's what buoyancy would be, you know? Yeah, so again, so if I go this way, again, the ball goes that way when I apply a force with the inertia. Let me ask you guys this. When I hold this, for example, like this, and I release it into free fall, do you guys believe it accelerated down to the earth?
Like the ball?
So when I hold a container, the whole container, and I release the container, do you believe the container accelerated down to the earth? Yeah, right? So here, I did it in slow motion just to show you guys, because matter always reacts to acceleration 100% of the time because of inertia and because of buoyancy. If something's less dense, it's the inertia, and if something's less dense, it's buoyancy. If something is more dense, it's because of inertia. So here, let me show you guys this real quick. So I accelerated the one on the right. Again, you could clearly see the effects of acceleration, water displacing, you know, due to inertia. The one on the left is free fall. There is no reaction to that acceleration because there is no force in free fall. I don't know if you guys knew gravity is just a theory. So a measurable force or a measurable acceleration in free fall has never been detected. And that's why gravity is just a theory. And I actually did it with a...
What do you mean by theory? Yeah, no.
Theory, something that's a theory, it means it hasn't been proven.
Has been proven.
It hasn't been proven. It hasn't been
What about
proven. Newton's laws of motion actually debunks gravity. Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's the third law. And in free fall, there is no reaction to that acceleration. So here, which one's the one I accelerated down? Exactly, because that's the one that's displacing. That's the one reacting. Matter always reacts to acceleration, and acceleration always requires a force. So the fact is, gravity is just a theory because there is no measurable force in free fall, which means objects don't get pulled down towards the Earth. What's happening is the Earth literally pushing up against you. And how do we know that? How do we know that? Because again,
It's pushing up against the object.
no, it's pushing up against you right now. Yeah. So for example, like I showed here, when I move this, the less dense object gets pushed in the same direction of the force. So if I have a helium balloon which is less dense than the air, what direction is the force? No, a helium balloon, right? It's less dense than the air. That's the direction of the force is up. We know inanimate matter cannot move by itself. So what's pushing up the air to be able to push up the helium? But what is gravity? No, but real gravity is a push. So it's the ground that's pushing up the air, that's pushing up the helium. So literally, again, when you release an object into free fall, the object doesn't move to the ground, it's the ground that moves up to the object. The object simply loses momentum due to inertia. So something that's more dense in the medium moves in the opposite direction of the force because of inertia, and buoyancy goes in the same direction of the force because it's being pushed by the air, and the air has to be pushed by the ground. So
you're saying buoyancy is caused
by the Earth's push, exactly, and that can be demonstrated and replicated in any vector. You know, buoyancy is an effect of a container that's in motion. So you guys believe the Earth is a ball, obviously, right? If we could prove that it's the ground moving up and not objects being pulled down, and up is relative on a ball, for example, every direction away from the center, how can the Earth be moving up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball? Exactly, it wouldn't work. That would mean the Earth would have to be growing by the second, which defies physics. That would mean the Earth would explode. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in the theory of gravity being a pulling force, which is a lie. The fact is, it's literally the Earth's force, the Earth's push.
So
that's,
the Earth has to be flat then?
well, level. It's level. So over 95% of flat earthers are basically bullshitters online because they claim the Earth is motionless. So they are perpetuating this idea of a pulling force of gravity as well, and they're just debating an idea which doesn't exist. So that's the controlled opposition. So that's how they're keeping this whole subject down, by mocking it. They're just making a mockery of our reality. The fact is the Earth is a level plane, and level is an orientation. In order to have orientation, you need motion. Without motion, you have no orientation.
So it's a flat surface moving up.
Level surface. I hate the word flat because it just has so much negative. And again, flat is not an orientation, because you can have a flat wall. Flat is not an orientation. Level is. Level is perpendicular to the vertical, which is the direction of the force, but it's not down, it's up. The force is up.
I think I've seen this one video. It's like they have some sort of laser pointer or some sort of light beam that's going straight, and they're expecting it to hit one on the other side if it's level, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't end up hitting that. Why is that?
Refraction. So the air is like moisture. So when you shine a light through water, what happens? Does the laser go straight?
No, it's just displaced.
That's what happens. So here's a better
experiment.
experiment. Here's a better experiment that the mainstream will never talk about. Again, these are the flat earthers that are controlled, in my opinion. They're globe earthers in disguise. So they're trying to keep this just trying to keep it a debate, which at the end of the day, reality is not a debate. Reality is what it is, and it's about understanding. So real quick, a better experiment. Again, satellites, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth if they're supposedly a ball. So this is the radius it tells us the Earth is, 3,159 miles. And based on that radius, and we can calculate using that Pythagorean theorem how much curvature there should be every mile. So in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch drop, second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. So if we went out to a giant lake, again...
How many miles is 6 feet?
3 miles. So if we went out to a lake that was miles across, we know that water is going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, because water is level when contained and at rest. So every lake on Earth is level, but they're trying to tell us that level means curve, and that the surface of a lake is bending 6 feet in 3 miles and 66 feet in 10 miles, which is a physical impossibility. Water doesn't have the ability to maintain a shape on the surface. It always collapses and forms an equal surface, which is horizontal. Again, so the laser experiments are basically just there to keep people just to get an inconclusive answer, so that you never get nowhere. A physical measurement like this, like a giant structure that's horizontal above water, will show that the water is level.
Is that they've done this with like an actual 3 mile long level structure?
I mean, every blueprints, all the blueprints on Earth, when they lay down railroads, when they build bridges, they're all level. They're all plumbs and horizontals. You've never seen blueprints with curved lines. That doesn't exist. All the blueprints are all horizontal.
Okay, so like,
and plums.
like coming out, like is the sun also like?
So the sun and the moon, they're untangible objects. So nobody's actually been to the lights in the sky. They claim to have gone to the moon, but that's just this a movie production that they did in the 60s. Yeah, that's just bullshit.
So like we didn't ever.
So the reason why nobody can go higher than like 25 miles is because of air density. In order for an aircraft to be able to lift itself or fly, it needs to push off of the air. And the higher you go, the less thin the air is. So you could only go so high because again, aircraft have to push off of the air, and the air has to be at a certain
But
density.
what about like producing force through like combustion engines?
What about that?
Not necessarily relying on the air to lift itself up, but using that as an external force to accelerate.
Well, you need a medium to push off of to be able to push yourself forward.
That's not necessarily true.
Well,
Engines.
yeah, an engine could work. First of all, an engine needs oxygen. First of all, to work. So if you're in space, for example, where there's no oxygen, first of all, an engine won't even work in that environment. Second, you're gonna need the thrusters to push off of a medium to be able to move forward or in any direction.
So you're saying every like car that moves forward is simply pushing off?
Well, it's pushing
the
off of
air
the,
behind.
no, it's pushing off of the ground. Something needs to push off. Boats push off of water. Cars push off of the ground.
But that's
Aircraft push off of
perpendicular.
there.
The ground's perpendicular to the force of the
How is
car
it pushing forward?
accelerating forward.
Well, the tires have to have grip to be able to push off of the ground to be able to move forward. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Also, so like.
So put it this way, outer space, just real quick, it's actually just an idea as well. It's just a theory because the second law of thermodynamics, you guys have heard of entropy,
Yeah.
right? Unless you have two opposing, you need a solid barrier to have two opposing pressure systems next to each other, a solid barrier. If you remove that solid barrier, you're gonna have equilibrium. So the air is gonna rush to the empty space to fill it because of entropy. They're claiming outer space is a negative pressure, and Earth has 14.7 psi without a solid barrier. That defies physics. You need a solid barrier to separate two different pressure systems. That's the second law of thermodynamics.
Wait, so you're saying there's no barrier that separates the Earth?
There is. So the Earth is a contained system. It's a
Yeah.
level plane that's contained, and it's literally moving up. So we're inside
What's
of
it
it.
contained by?
Yeah, it's. I don't know.
Wait, so
No,
what's
no,
up
no.
there?
That atmosphere needs to be contained. That atmosphere cannot be the container.
What's
So you're
up
saying
there?
there's like a barrier
A physical
around-
barrier. Yes. I don't know what that barrier looks like though.
What's at the end of the level structure?
Well, the barrier.
So like, can we see it?
I don't know. Maybe the government has, but they're keeping everybody from that fact.
It's like the. You watched this Truman Show before?
Yes. Yeah. That's actually pretty subliminal. It's a pretty subliminal movie. Yeah. So the Earth is a contained system. We live like in a terrarium. This is
So
a
we're
terrarium.
going upwards,
Yes.
and then is there like a limit, or are we just like?
Well, in my opinion, the Earth is not moving in a perfectly straight line. It's part of a cycle. So the reason it's a cycle.
It's like a Ferris wheel.
Kind of. Like if anything, it could be moving like an arm like this. But to us in it, it's always,
So
up
we
is up.
fall off.
No, we'll never fall off because the Earth is pushing up against you. So that's what's keeping you on Earth.
But if it's moving in a cycle, eventually if we stand at the same point, we're going to be on like this side of the Earth. If it's moving
Yeah,
this
but-
way, so we'd fall off if there's
No, you
gap.
won't fall off because it's the Earth that's keeping you on Earth. Again, there's no up.
Wait, I thought you said that's perpendicular though.
Yeah, so
because
then, like, it'll
if we're
push you
here
off.
and the Earth is pushing you towards
Oh.
this way,
It's saying like
you're
it's
going to
like-
be dropping
it's like
down.
this, not like dropping.
No. It is like, in my opinion, it could be.
It is
Yeah, like this.
So
like
if
this.
this is me right here, this is what.
Yeah, exactly. Because your body has inertia, so it's trying to resist the motion. So it doesn't.
Fast enough for the inertia to like keep you on. Like,
Yeah, inertia. It's always going to resist the motion, so you're always going to push back.
how slow is this arm motion?
I don't know. Nobody knows the speed of the Earth. That's,
So how do you know, like?
well, buoyancy shows me that the force of the Earth is up because inanimate matter cannot move itself. So what's pushing up the helium? It's the air. What's pushing up the air? It's the ground. Buoyancy shows you the direction of the force.
So is it like the sun fake too?
So the sun and the moon are part of the Earth system. They're part of it. This is a
In
creation.
the level surface.
Yeah, it's within the Earth system. So everything's moving together, basically. Like when you're driving in a car, for example, 60 miles an hour down the freeway, everything in that car is moving 60 miles an hour as well.
Yeah.
So everything on Earth, inside of the Earth, is moving with the Earth
So
as
it's
well.
like Pluto in Earth too.
Well, these are just lights in the sky. I can show you what they actually look like and what they try to depict them as. Look, these are what the stars actually look like. Nobody knows what they actually are, but they're just lights that... These pictures are from a P900 camera. It has 82 times optical zoom. So anybody can buy that camera and zoom into the stars, and this is what they actually look like. They look like they're lights that are just rippling in water.
And they're
Wait,
in
so
our
I had like a
They're
tablet-
part. I don't even think they're tangible. They're just lights. I don't know
Just
what.
lights.
Yeah, I
So
don't,
they're not
nobody
actually-
knows what they are. They're not terra firma, 100%. So this is what Mars looks like, but this is what NASA shows. They try to show us that it's.
And like drones have landed on Mars.
That's all part of like
It's a theory.
That's just made up. That's cartoons for adults. Disney for adults. Everything NASA does is Disney for adults.
So like, where do you think this government funding is going? Like they're just like.
Oh, they're just pocketing it. Yeah, they're just living a good life, and while all of us are just suffering.
All the funding that goes like
Yeah, 70 million a day, over 20 billion a year. That's how much they get. And that's not even nothing. The military gets over 200 million a day.
Oh, yeah.
They even get more. You know, so definitely
So
we
this
are.
is just like entertainment.
Yes, NASA is just entertainment. Exactly, you got it. Yeah, the reality, and then not only that, it's to distract us from what the space actually is.
And what is it?
Nobody knows. All I know is that it's a level surface that's pushing up. It's literally moving through space. I don't know what space is though. I don't think it's a vacuum. What's outside of the Earth? I don't know what the fuck's outside of the Earth. It could be giants that created this place, you know, and we're just like little. You
So
know.
do you believe in God? Or?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, this place is a creation, 100%. I think all religions there are there to control people, though. Nobody knows what this place actually is and what God actually is. So I acknowledge that this is a creation and that there is a higher power. I don't claim to know what that is. I think that's pretty egotistic to claim that to know what that is. And that's what every religion does. The globe Earth is a religion, too, because not only is it based on faith, like every other religion, they also give you a creation story, just like every other religion. With the Big Bang and evolution, that's just a creation story, like any other religion. It's not real. Nobody knows how this place came to be. So what is this reality we're experiencing right now? I don't know. Are we supposed to be here? I don't know. A lot of people think this is like a prison, you know, like a physical prison. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to figure out what the extremities of this earth is. Maybe we could find this container, the wall, the Truman Show wall, right? And maybe the government has. Let me ask you guys this before you go. What's the number one proof that convinces you that the earth is a ball?
Like outer space sightings of it.
So images. So just cartoons. So that convinces you that this is a ball. There's somebody showing you an image. So if I show you an image of me flying, would you believe I could fly? That defies physics. So it doesn't matter what anybody shows me, a video or somebody flying. That defies physics. That's impossible. So if I showed you a video of me walking through walls, would you believe I could walk through walls? No, that defies physics. Any claim that defies physics, I don't even need to think twice about it. It's bullshit. So the claim of outer space next to Earth's pressure system without a solid barrier, it's bullshit. It defies physics. It defies the laws of entropy. You know, and not only that, the fact that there is no physical downward acceleration to the Earth and it's the Earth literally moving up, which physics shows, that debunks the whole heliocentric model. Because they rely that people believe in gravity first to be able to believe in the globe. Without the gravity belief, there is no globe. There is no heliocentric model. Because that's the glue that keeps the whole model together. And a model is not reality. It's just an idea.
But so your beliefs are like completely accurate, backed by physics.
Well,
So then,
they're not beliefs, but yeah.
Oh, okay,
My understanding.
Your knowledge.
Yes,
Yeah.
my understanding.
So then why is it this mainstream? Like why can't you like tell the world?
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually live streaming right now on YouTube, and my channel is super censored. Not only is my channel completely like shadow banned, it doesn't get recommended in the algorithms. They remove subscribers, they remove views, they remove likes, so that it makes the people that run YouTube, people that own YouTube.
How do you know they removed? Also, do you mind if I look it up?
Yeah, I could give you guys my channel, definitely. Again, you guys can check it out. I'm live streaming right now, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to share this with as much people as I can, and I'm being constrained by the economy as well. So, you want to take this? Yeah. So I'm being constrained by the economy as well. So I don't really have much time to do this, much free time. But when I do come out and do this in my free time. And yeah, I mean, let me ask you guys this: are you guys 100% convinced that the Earth is a ball and gravity actually exists, or are you guys open to the facts that maybe that's not true?
I feel like I have to look into the physics.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing. So over 95% of flat Earth YouTube channels, they're all bullshitters too. They're all controlled opposition. Have you guys heard of that term before? So controlled opposition is somebody that's just infiltrating the movement, movement for lack of a better term, to make it look dumb. So all these motionless flat earthers are there to just make this whole topic a mockery. And that's exactly what's happening.
It's like to hide the action.
Yes. There's only 2 channels that are representing what I'm doing right now, which is myself, and then the other channel that's on the flyer. It's Beyond the Imaginary Curve. It's inside. You guys will read it. Me and him, he's from Scotland, are the only 2 people representing the facts that debunk the whole model. Every other channel that I came across, and hundreds, trust me, there's hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of channels, they're all either bullshitters or they're falling into the propaganda. So yeah, thanks for talking to me. You guys have a good one. Give me 1 second. Let me just put these back here.
Okay.
All right. So, real simple. I have 3 containers here. 1, 2, 3, right?
Okay.
These are considered accelerometers because they detect acceleration. So, for example, when I have this bottle here at rest, we can say that the water is level, right?
Yes.
If I was to apply a force in this direction, in other words, move it or accelerate it, what direction is the water going to move?
If it's like,
Yeah, you got it.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll move in this direction. Yeah. So again, if I apply a force this way, the water goes to the back.
Oh, yeah.
If I apply a force this way, the water goes to the opposite direction.
Yes.
Do you know why that happens? It's due to inertia. Inertia. Yeah, because matter has inertia. So when you apply a force, if something's more dense, it goes in the opposite direction of the force. If something is less dense, it goes in the direction of the force. For example, here, we have a ping pong ball surrounded by air. The ping pong ball is obviously more dense than the air. If I apply a force in that direction, what direction is the ping pong ball going to go? It's going to go in this direction, the opposite direction of the force, because it's more dense. And due to inertia, see, it hits this wall first.
Okay.
Yeah, again. And if I have something less dense like this, for example, again, this is a buoyant object. It's less dense than the medium that surrounds it, right? If I apply a force in that direction, what direction do you think the ball's going to go? In that direction. Yes, look. See? It gets pushed by the water because it's less dense than the water. So the water is able to push it in that same direction. So, in other words, acceleration will always cause displacement of matter. Matter will always react to acceleration 100% of the time. Let me ask you this. If I hold this container, for example, like this, and it's at rest, and I release it into free fall, do you believe it accelerated down to the earth? By gravity? You think gravity accelerated down to the earth? Right? Let me just show you guys this real quick. So I did 2 different experiments. So I did one with water, with the water bottle. Again, the one on the right, I actually accelerate down, and you can see the displacement of water, the reaction to the force, right, to the acceleration. The one on the left is free fall. There's 0 reaction to the acceleration because there is no force in free fall. So I don't know if you guys knew, gravity is just a theory. So it has never been physically measured or proven. So because matter doesn't react to the acceleration in free fall. So again, I'll show you, I did it with water and a ping pong ball and a steel ball. Which one did I accelerate now? The one on the right or the one on the left? Exactly, because that one shows the reaction. Matter reacts to the acceleration. Matter reacts to the force. The one on the left is free fall, but again, there is no reaction. There is no inertia. There's no buoyancy. So again, the fact is gravity is not a pulling force. The fact is it's the earth pushing up against you. Because again, how do we know that? Buoyancy shows you the direction of the force. So if I let a helium balloon up, what direction is the force? If I let a helium balloon go?
Up?
Yes, exactly. Why do you think it goes up? It's because it's less dense than the air, and the air is able to push it up. But we know inanimate matter cannot move on its own, so what's pushing up the air to be able to push up the helium? What's pushing up the air, do you think? Yes, the Earth's motion. So the ground is literally moving up, which is pushing the air, which is pushing the helium. So that's the fact. So when you release an object into free fall like this, it's not this that moves down to the ground, it's the ground that literally moves up to this. So everything's moving right now together. For example, if you're in a highway in a car moving at 60 miles an hour, everything in that car is moving at 60 miles an hour together.
Yeah.
So right now, everything that's on Earth is moving at the same speed of the Earth. So when you release something into free fall that's not connected to the Earth, it's the Earth that just catches up to it. So the object never accelerated down. And that's why gravity as a pulling force is just a theory. The force is actually the push of the Earth. So the force is up, not down. So let me ask you guys this. You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right? So if we could prove that the Earth is literally moving up, right? And up is relative on a ball. In other words, every direction away from the center. How can the Earth be moving up in every direction at the same time? If it was the Earth moving up on a ball. Yeah, it wouldn't work because that would mean the Earth will have to be expanding. It would have to be growing in every direction. But that's ridiculous. That just wouldn't work. The Earth would explode. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth, they first have to believe in this theory of gravity being a pulling force, which doesn't exist. So the fact is, the Earth is a level plane, and we're all on top of it, and it's literally pushing up like that. So yeah, the Earth is not a ball; it's a level. You know, based on the fact that there is no pulling force of gravity, and it's the Earth pushing up. So right now, you're not being pulled down to the ground; it's literally the ground pushing up against you right now. So that's the fact. That's the reality. So if I was to ask you guys, you know, real quick, what's the number one proof that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
I guess the number one proof that I would say would be like NASA's pictures.
Yes,
and
NASA's
everything.
images. So I actually have a couple here. I'll just show them to you. There's one. This one's from 2002, and this one's from 2012. So these are official NASA images, and they call them images, not photographs, because they even admit they're not real photographs. So these are all made in a computer. They're all CGI, admittedly so. So, and the reason why is because, first, obviously, Earth is not a ball, and second is because they say they take strips of imagery because they suppose they can get high enough, even though they suppose they went to the moon, and then they make these in a computer. So these images defy the laws of physics, in other words. So they're not real photographs.
What about like the satellites that circle around?
Yes, I'm glad you brought them up. So they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right?
Yes.
So they need to know the radius of orbit if they're supposedly going around the Earth. So they need to know the radius of the Earth. So they do tell us the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles. And using a simple calculation like the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can calculate for Earth's curvature what it should be every mile. So in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch drop. Second mile, there should be 32 inches. And by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of measurable curvature. And it increases more and more and more. In 10 miles, there should be 66 feet. But if we went to a giant lake that was miles across, we understand that the lake, if we were to physically measure the lake, the surface of the lake is always going to be level. In other words, horizontal. Yes. But they're trying to tell us that the surface of a lake is bending 8 inches per mile squared, which again defies physics when water is level and contained and at rest. Water doesn't do this when it's on a lake. You know, it's always level and horizontal. So you guys heard of the term sea level, right?
Yes.
The oceans are no different. The oceans are like a giant lake. So all the continents are just across the way. They're not around the ball. So again, water shows us that the globe Earth is a physical impossibility as well. So again, if we actually physically measure the Earth, it's going to show that it's level. You know, this will be the number 2 proof to debunk the globe. The number 1 proof is the fact that gravity as a pulling force doesn't exist. Because again, if the Earth is moving up, that wouldn't work from a globe from the start. You know, so water being level is just the number 2 proof. The number 1 proof is gravity is not a force. You know, let me ask you guys this respectfully. Besides images, is there anything else that convinces you that the Earth is the ball?
I mean, I don't have any personal proof.
Right. Would it be fair to say that you guys just believe it then, blindly?
I wouldn't say I blindly believe it.
Well, then why do you believe it then?
Because of the fact that it's like, you know, like I actually follow a bunch of like NASA, you know, I feel like that's a really good point of view. But like you also have to believe like other astronauts or scientists that actually go up to.
I'm glad you said you have to believe. So believing it's like the enemy of knowing. I don't know if you knew that. So
why do you believe it?
Well, I don't have beliefs. I understand.
You don't have any beliefs?
I don't have any beliefs about the objective world. I don't have any beliefs.
Okay.
I might have personal beliefs that I can achieve something in my life. Like that personal beliefs, yeah. Objective beliefs about the world, the exterior world, I don't have beliefs. Reality is what it is. Fire's gonna burn you. If you breathe water, you're gonna drown. You don't have to believe these. These are facts, right? So the shape of the earth is an objective fact. It's not up for belief. It's objective. It's reality. So it's about understanding that. And that's why they lie to us about gravity, because without believing in the pulling force of gravity, they can't conceptualize the globe. And at the end of the day, the globe Earth is a model, and the heliocentric model is backed, by the ball Earth model. So it's just, in my opinion, the globe Earth is just a religion, like any other religion. It's just based on faith. And again, you just have to believe these priests, these scientists, right? I call them priests because they're no different than any other priest. They say a lot of things that defy physics.
Then what's the difference between you and them?
Well, I go with what reality shows me.
Okay, but don't scientists do that too?
Not when it comes to the globe Earth. They claim outer space is an environment they can fly to, but
So what gives you like a more like superior position than others who are actually like going out and like doing their research and like are in labs, like observing all of this? Like what makes them priests and you
a realist? Sure. The reason why is because when they claim that Earth is a globe, they're claiming that water's bending around a globe, right? But we understand, you and I understand that water doesn't have the physical ability to do that. You know, this curvature that they're claiming, it doesn't exist. Not only that, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when we accelerate an object, not only do you need a force to accelerate, acceleration is always going to cause displacement of matter. In other words, matter is always going to react to the acceleration. The fact that there is no measurable force or effects of acceleration in free fall debunks the whole heliocentric model. So again, are we going to go with what we know, the laws of motion, or are we going to go with theories of gravity? So this is where they become priests. They start talking about theories and they ignore practical physics.
I mean, in science, like literally a theory is something that you have to constantly like prove over and over again, right? That's how we like make assumptions, and not just assumptions, but that's how we conceive the world.
Yeah, if theories are backed by practicality, like how cell phones were invented, technology was invented, all those theories were backed by the practical, and that's why they were able to create technologies. Their theories about the globe Earth are backed by another theory of gravity, which is backed by nothing. So again, I understand theories do advance technologies, but they have to be rooted in practicality. If your theory is not rooted in practicality, then it's bullshit. Because I could have a theory of Santa Claus. Is that theory backed by practicality? It's not. Because obviously reindeer flying and all of that defies physics. You know, so again, theories have to be backed by practicality to be taken serious, and the globe Earth doesn't. It's just theories backed by other theories, backed by other theories, which is backed by nothing. You know, and again, at the end of the day, it's about making people believe that they're somewhere that they're not. You know, so do you guys have any questions for me about this topic? So just
Have a good day.
You guys want to take the information? Maybe you guys could take a look at some of the conversations I have.
I'm really good.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, man. Take care. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, it would.
You want to give this a shot, right? All right. All right. So very easy. I have 3 containers here, and these 3 containers are considered accelerometers, and I'm going to explain why. So we'll start with the first one. So when I have the reason they're considered accelerometers is because they detect acceleration, in other words. So when I have this container like this at rest, could we say the water's level?
Not quite.
Well, once it's completely, you know, not moving,
Yes.
could we say the water's level, right?
Yes.
If I was to apply a force in this direction, what direction is the water going to go?
In that direction.
You think the water's going to go to the front? If I apply a force in this direction?
Yes.
Actually, the water goes to the back.
Oh.
Yeah. So if I apply a force in this direction, the water goes in this direction, the opposite direction of the force. So here, I can show you with this one. So here's obviously a ping pong ball surrounded by air, right? If I apply a force in that direction, what direction is the ball going to swing?
It's gonna go that way.
Yes. Exactly. So why do you think that happens?
Because the force of gravity is greater than the force of your arm in that direction.
Well, the simple answer is because of inertia. So matter resists motion, and the air obviously is not dense enough to push on the ping pong ball. When I push the container, yeah, the air's not able to push the ping pong ball, so it just stays in its relative position, and the container crashes into it due to inertia. Now here, I have a ping pong ball that's less dense than the medium that surrounds it, water in other words. If I apply a force in this direction, what direction is the ball going to go?
It's gonna go in the direction of the force.
Yes, buoyancy follows the direction of the force. Exactly, because the medium is able to push it because it's more dense. Right? So again, matter will always react to acceleration, whether it's less dense or more dense. Again, matter always reacts to acceleration.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. If I hold this water bottle like this and I release it into free fall, do you believe it accelerated down to the earth from being at rest?
Yes.
Yes, right? You think gravity pulled it down to the earth, right? So again, since we understand that matter will always react to acceleration, I did it in slow motion just to show people. So the one on the right, I actually accelerated down, and we can see the water displacing to the top, or wanting to displace to the top. It's reacting to the acceleration, to the force. The one on the left, however, is not reacting, you know, to the acceleration in free fall, because in free fall, I don't know if you knew, there is no measurable force or acceleration in free fall, and that's why gravity is just a theory. So gravity being a theory means it hasn't never been proven. So a physical downwards acceleration has never been measured because matter doesn't react to the acceleration in free fall.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why gravity is just a theory. So if we understand buoyancy follows the direction of the force, when I let a helium balloon go, what direction does it go? What direction is the force? Because helium is less dense than the air.
It goes upwards.
Right. Because that's the direction of the force, right?
But if the air were more dense, then it would fall down.
Yeah, if it's more dense than the air, then it goes in the opposite direction of the force. But not because of a force, but because of inertia.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Why does a helium balloon go up?
Because the air in the balloon is less dense than the air surrounding.
And the air's more... So
Yes.
the air's literally pushing it up.
Yes.
So we know inanimate matter cannot move by itself. So what's pushing up the air to be able to push up the helium?
Gravity.
But what in specific? But what about gravity?
What's pushing?
What's
the
pushing
helium?
up the air to be able to push up the helium? The answer is the ground. So the ground is literally pushing up the air, which is pushing up the helium. So again, gravity as a pulling force doesn't exist. That's why it's a theory, because when I release this into free fall, it's not this that accelerated onto the earth. It's literally the earth that comes up to meet it. Because everything that's connected to the earth is already in constant motion. So something that's disconnected from that motion starts to lose momentum due to inertia.
Right.
That's why in free fall there is no force, because it's inertia. It's the resistance to the force, the resistance to motion. So if we could prove that it's the ground moving up to a free-falling object and not the object moving down to the ground, right?
Yeah.
You believe the earth is a ball, right? Mm-hmm. If up is relative on a ball, which is, in every direction away from the center, right? And if we could prove that it's the ground moving up, how can the ground be moving up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
Let me think. How can
the ground move up in every direction simultaneously if it was a ball? If the earth was a ball.
thinking? I don't know if I have a straight answer.
I'll tell you. It would mean the earth would have to be expanding and growing by the second, which actually defies physics. That wouldn't work. The earth would explode. So in order for people to believe in the ball earth, they first have to believe in this pulling force of gravity, which again has never been physically proven. The fact is, the earth is a level plane that's literally pushing up against you right now. It's not pulling you down. So that's the fact. And that's the number one proof that debunks the globe earth. The fact that the earth's force is a push, not a pull. So let me ask you this. Obviously, what's the number one proof that makes you believe that the earth is a ball?
Satellite imagery.
Imagery? Okay, I actually have a couple images here. And I'm glad you call them images too, because NASA calls them images as well. They don't call them photographs, because they admit they make these in a computer. So this one's from 2012 NASA image, and this one's from 2002 NASA image. Not only do they look completely different, but they admit that they're not real photographs. So they make these in a computer. So everything that NASA presents is literally just cartoons for adults. It's just Disney for adults, in my opinion. So nothing is real that they show. So everything that they show us about outer space, including the globe earth from outer space, all of that is just made up, especially the globe earth.
Okay, well, what about the idea that if one was flying on a plane in the same direction for enough time, they'd end up in the same spot they started?
Oh, nobody has never done that. Well, you're talking about circumnavigation, right?
Yes.
So circumnavigation can easily work on a level plane. For example, if you go around this building, make a circle around the building, you're going to end up back where you started.
Yes.
So that circumnavigation could be done on a level surface as well, going in a circle. What nobody's ever done, supposedly, is north to south navigation. Because if you go south, or in my opinion, you're going to reach the wall of the earth, the container of the earth, because the earth is a contained system.
Wait, are you trying to tell me the earth is flat?
Not flat, because flat earth is a psyop as well. Flat Earth is a psyop, and I'm going to tell you why. Over 95% of Flat Earth content creators and people that just believe everything they're told also believe that the Earth is motionless. So they also believe in a pulling force of gravity, like the globe Earth. But the fact is, it's literally the Earth moving up. That's what debunks the whole globe Earth.
Okay, well, let's say circumnavigation in one trip has been done. But you can take several flights from point A to point B and get back.
Sure. Again, circumnavigation can easily be done on a level surface as well. That doesn't prove either or, is my point.
Well, if the Earth was, on a level surface, let's say let's say if it's on a level surface,
Yeah.
circumnavigation could be shorter depending on.
Let's say this is the Earth, right? For the machine, and let's say this is the North Pole, the center. So on a level Earth, the north will be the center point. East and west will just be circles around the center point, no different than the globe.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, circumnavigation doesn't prove either or. What proves or debunks the globe is physics, understanding physics. Again, gravity not being a pulling force or or acceleration in free fall debunks the globe Earth, because they require people to believe that. Because if we could prove that it's literally the ground pushing up that's creating the buoyant effect here on Earth, then that wouldn't work from a globe. That would mean the Earth will have to expand by the second, which is ridiculous. It wouldn't even work on paper. So it's that globe Earth belief is backed by the belief in gravity. That's a pulling force, but the fact is a pushing force. Because the force is magnitude in motion. Magnitude in a particular direction. That's what force is. So the Earth's magnitude, the Earth's mass, is what's moving. That's the force of the Earth. It's pushing up.
So what would you tell me the Earth is?
The Earth is a level plane, and it's a contained system as well, because the second law of thermodynamics, you understand, you have heard of entropy?
Yes.
So in order to have two opposing pressure systems next to each other, you require a solid barrier to separate them. The instant you remove the solid barrier, you're going to have equilibrium. The high pressure is always going to move to the lower pressure until it equilibrates. They're claiming outer space is a negative pressure next to Earth's pressure, 14.7 psi, without a solid barrier.
Well, we have the atmosphere.
Well, the atmosphere needs to be contained. The atmosphere cannot be the container. That's my point. There is a solid barrier maintaining the atmosphere.
Well,
So nobody's been outside of the Earth system. That's all made up. That's why this NASA's just Disney for adults. Nobody's been. Here's another thing: aircraft required to push off of the air to be able to lift, to be able to fly. Right? The air has to be at a certain density to be able to push off of it. The higher you elevate, the less dense the air becomes. So aircraft are not able to push off of it anymore. So we can only go so high, which is like 30 miles. That's the highest anybody's ever been. So again, anything about outer space.
People have been.
Well, they show us images, which is just cartoons.
But people have. There's actually a term for the point that separates Earth and space, and it's approximately 62 miles above the surface.
Sure, they have an explanation, but that defies the laws of physics, the laws of entropy.
Can I just ask, are you a student here?
I'm not a student here. I'm here to challenge the students, actually. So,
Okay.
yeah. All right, have a good one. Hey, how's it going? So, doing good. So, you guys want to give this a shot? There's no prize, it's just knowledge. That's the prize.
How many questions?
3, less than 3 actually. It's just the demonstrations real quick. So I have 3 containers here, and these containers are considered accelerometers because they detect acceleration. So for example, we'll start with this one. When I have this container like this at rest, could we say the water's level? Right? So if I apply a force in this direction, what direction do you think the water's gonna go? Yes. The water goes in this one, and if I apply a force this way, the water goes in that direction, right? You know why that happens? Yes. You're smart, man. You're smart. So here, I have a ping pong ball surrounded by air, right? The ping pong ball is obviously more dense than the air. If I apply a force in this direction, what direction will the ball swing? Yes. Due to inertia, again, because the air is not dense enough to push it. So again, it remains in its relative. Now, here, I have a ping pong ball that's less dense than the medium that surrounds it. So it's able to float, in other words. So if I apply a force in this direction, what direction will the ball go? Yes. So buoyancy follows the direction of the force because the medium is more dense than the object, so it's able to push it in that same direction. Exactly, right? So matter always reacts to acceleration, whether it's less dense or more dense than the medium, right? Always reacts. So if I was to hold this like this at rest, right, and I release it, do you believe gravity accelerated down to the Earth? You don't believe gravity accelerated down?
Actually, yeah, I do.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did it in slow motion just to show, people. So I actually, here you go. So the one on the right, I actually accelerated down, and you can see the water displace, the water react to the acceleration, because there's a force, there's acceleration. The one on the left is free fall, but there is no reaction to that acceleration or a force because there is no measurable force in free fall. So I don't know if you guys knew gravity is just the theory. What that means is that has never been proven. So a physical downwards acceleration of matter has never been actually proven. So I actually did it too with water and a ping pong ball and a steel ball. Which one of these two would you say I actually accelerated down? The one on the right or the one on the left?
I guess the one on the right.
Obviously, because that's the one that, you know, reacted to the acceleration, right? The dense object moves in the opposite direction of the force, and the less dense object gets pushed in the direction of the force, right? So the fact is, in free fall, there is no reaction to acceleration or a force, because objects don't accelerate down towards the Earth. It's literally the Earth that's moving up to the object. So another thing we know that is, if we understand buoyancy follows the direction of the force, if I have a helium balloon here, which is less dense than the air, and I release the helium balloon, what direction is the force? Yes. So why does the helium balloon go up though?
You said it was less dense.
Less dense than the air. So it is the air that's pushing it up, literally. So we understand inanimate matter cannot move by itself. So what's pushing up the air to be able to push up the helium? The answer is it's the Earth. So again, the Earth as a pulling force of the Earth doesn't exist. It's actually a pushing force. So the Earth is pushing up the air, which is pushing up the helium. And something that's more dense than the air cannot get pushed up by the air, so the Earth comes up to meet it. So when I release this into free fall, for example, this didn't move down to the ground. It's the ground that moved up to the object. And that's why gravity would never be a force, and it's always just going to be a theory. Because the fact is, you're not being pulled down to the Earth. It's the Earth that's pushing up against you, literally. So you guys believe the Earth is a ball, right? Yeah, like this, right? If we can prove that it's literally the ground moving up and not objects going down to the Earth, and up is relative on a ball, in other words, in every direction away from the center, right? That's up. How can the Earth be moving up in every direction simultaneously if the Earth was a ball? How can the ground be moving up in every direction simultaneously if the Earth is a ball?
It's center mass.
Yeah, but that's you believing in a pulling force. But if we could prove that it's the ground moving up and it's not the object moving down to the Earth, how can that work from a globe? It wouldn't work, because that would mean the Earth would have to be expanded and it would just explode. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in the theory of gravity being a pulling force, which doesn't exist. The fact is, the force of the Earth is a push, not a pull. So right now, what's keeping you on the ground is literally the Earth pushing up against you. So the fact is, the Earth is a level plane that's literally pushing up like that, and we're all standing on it. So everybody's up is the same. So orientation on Earth is singular, not relative. So let me ask you guys this. What's the number one proof that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
I guess when flying in an airplane, you can see, if you're high enough, you can see the horizon. It's not flat. It's kind of curved.
You think the horizon's curved?
Yeah.
Yeah? You know Neil deGrasse Tyson? He even admits that you can't see the curvature of the Earth even from 20 miles in the sky.
You gotta be extremely high.
You know how high airplanes fly?
Yeah.
5 miles.
Yeah, 30,000.
30,000 feet, which is only about 5 miles.
Yeah, you'll see it at 80,000.
Well, 20 miles in the sky is 120,000 feet, and there is no visible curvature. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson admits that you can't see it. So that curvature of the Earth has never been actually measured or seen. It only exists on paper, like images like this, for example. Or you're familiar with the fisheye lens, the camera of the GoPro, for example? Yeah, so the only place you're ever going to see curvature of the Earth is through GoPro cameras that curve horizontal lines, or through CGI images like this. So a physical, curvature of the Earth has never been.
So do you believe the Earth is flat?
I wouldn't say flat, because flat is not an orientation. The Earth has orientation, so it's a level. It's level perpendicular to the vertical, which is the Earth's force, which is a push. You know, they're trying to say that the vector of the force is down, but the vector is actually up.
So what do you think the Earth is?
The Earth is a level plane that's contained, and it's moving up like that. So over 95% of flat earthers online are bullshitters, because they all claim the Earth is motionless. So they're keeping a false dichotomy with the globe Earth. They both believe in a pulling force of gravity, which that belief keeps the whole ball Earth idea alive. So they're literally having a fake debate online. And that's why they're keeping this whole information from coming out. So all these fake flat earthers online are all bullshitters. There's only 2 people that are actually representing this, which is myself and some other guy in Scotland. And those are the only 2 people right now that are actually representing the facts. Everybody else is just bullshitting. They're all controlled opposition, in other words. Other than that, that the fact that you, well, other than you thinking you've seen the curvature of the Earth, if there's anything else that convinces you that the Earth is evolved. Some people like to say satellites, right?
Yeah.
Right? So NASA, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth if they're supposedly going around it. So they do tell us the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, which means there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile it increases. So in the first mile, there's an 8-inch drop, second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. But if we went to a giant lake that was miles across, to physically measure for this curvature, if we build a level structure over the body of water, the water is going to show us that it's going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, because that's what water does. Once contained and at rest, it always forms a horizontal surface, a level surface. But they're trying to tell us that the surface of a lake, it's bending 8 inches per mile square and increasing more and more and more the more you extend out. But that defies physics. So the physics of water when contained and at rest is the number 2 proof that debunks the globe Earth. The number 1 is that the fact there is no pulling force of gravity, and the force of the Earth is a push. You know, because pulling forces don't exist. It's all push. All combustion engines, everything that has motion requires a push to have motion. Pull is just a description of direction. It's not an actual force. So again, it's a fictitious force, which is, again, it doesn't exist, because matter will always react to acceleration, but in free fall it doesn't. You know, so that's the fact. You know, the fact is the Earth is not a globe. So let me ask you this. Are you 100% convinced that the Earth is a globe, or are you open to maybe we have been lied to about this place?
I think it's a globe.
You think it's a globe? Besides the, I mean, what convinces you?
Pictures.
Pictures? So if I showed you a picture of me flying, would you believe I could fly? If I showed you a picture of me flying, why not?
Obviously not.
Why not?
Humans can't fly.
That defies physics, right? These images they're showing us also defies physics. Water doesn't have the ability to stick to a ball. They're liars. Astronauts are liars.
How do you know that?
Because it's like somebody telling me they could fly. How do I know that? Because that defies
So
physics.
did you think the moon landing was fake?
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. If you look at the footage
So
from the
why
moon
is
land,
the moon a circle?
nobody knows what the lights in the sky are, and it has nothing to do with the dimensions of the Earth. So that's just like a red herring. You know what a red herring is? It's a false argument. So looking at the lights in the sky proves nothing about the shape of the Earth. Nobody knows what they are. Here's another thing. You know, airplanes and helicopters, in order to fly, they need to push off of the air to be able to gain lift. Did you know that the air has to be at a certain density to be able to push off of it? Well, that's something you could look up. The higher you elevate, the less dense the air becomes, so the less an airplane's going to be able to push off of it, so eventually they can't push off of it anymore. So we can only fly so high, which is about 30 miles. So anything that they claim that they go higher than that, it's all bullshit. It's all cartoons for adults. Everything they show people from outer space is all cartoon for adults. So nothing about outer space is real. It's all made up. So the Earth is a contained system, physically contained.
So where the matrix is that?
It's not like a digital matrix. I would say it's like a physical matrix, kind of like Avatar. You've seen the movie Avatar, right? Yeah. So it's like a physical place, and we're inside of it. It's not a digital place. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, it's a simulation." That's all bullshit too. It's not a simulation, in my opinion. This is a physical reality. How do I know that? The laws of physics. You can't break the laws of physics. If it was a simulation, then we'll be able to, we'll be able to break the laws of physics. People will be able to fly. People can breathe water. You know, your dreams are a simulation because you're able to do all those things. This reality is not. This is a static. This is real reality. This is as real as it's gonna get. So, I mean, any questions for me before you go? Nah? You guys want to check out? I go to other universities to talk about this subject because it is the #1 censored topic online, and you guys can check it out. That's my channel, and I'm live streaming right now. You can check it out. But yeah, my channel is super censored. If I don't share my channel like this with real people, it's never gonna move forward. You know? But at the end of the day, they remove views from my videos. They remove subscribers. You know, they make it seem like it's not growing. So that's how they're censoring it. You know, and it doesn't get recommended at all. So.
Because they don't want people to know the truth.
Exactly. It's literally that simple.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything,
I still don't understand. Like,
sure.
okay,
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
how is the Earth like? Why can't the Earth be a sphere then?
Because it defies the laws of physics. The Earth pushing up against you right now, which is proven by buoyancy, because inanimate matter cannot move itself. It requires something external to move it.
Okay.
The air has pressure, which is able to push a helium balloon up, which means the air is moving up. What's pushing up the air? They try to say is gravity pulling the air down, but how can they pull it down and push it up at the same time? Especially if matter doesn't react to acceleration in free fall, and there is no force. again, the force is only measurable when you're connected to the Earth. In free fall, you're considered weightless. There is no orientation in free fall because you have no force acting on you. We have orientation here on Earth because it's the Earth's motion that gives us our orientation. So all these motionless flat earthers, which is over 95% of flat earthers, they all claim the Earth is motionless. So they're keeping a false dichotomy with the globe earthers to just make a mockery of our reality.
What about like seasons?
Oh, that has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, but I honestly, well, it has to do with the motion of the sun, the seasons. But I don't know the exact motion of the sun. Well, I don't know what it is. Nobody knows what the sun is. That's the fact.
It's a star.
You could call it a star. I could call it a light. I could call it a fireball.
So you think someone just turns on the sun?
No. Whatever created this place, this is a creation 100%.
Why do you think astronauts are motionless?
Well, because they're lying about this reality. They're going against physics. I don't know if you knew, rockets, they always take a parabolic flight. They always go back down to the Earth. They pay attention to rockets. They never go straight up. Never. So in other words, they always come back down. They always make a curve. Yeah, that's all fake.
Oh, they just like
Yeah.
shot it in the studio.
Yes. Yeah, you could see wires. It's pretty laughable. When you look at the moon landing footage, it's pretty laughable. Like it's almost like they didn't think like people were actually gonna look back and look at that footage like now, and looking at it back now, like it just looks so ridiculous.
So is that why we haven't gone back to the moon?
Exactly. Because it'd be hard to fake it now,
So like, what's your credibility?
Well, understanding basic physics that a child can understand. Understanding that matter always reacts to acceleration debunks gravity, because there is no effects of acceleration in free fall. There is no measurable force, and that's why gravity is just a theory. And that's
In the video you showed, like the water bottle was
Yes.
dropping, one was not moving, the other one was.
yeah, one was free fall though.
So how did you do that one?
I just let it go.
And this one?
And this one with my hand.
Going back?
Yes, I applied a force. I actually accelerated, and we can see the effects of the acceleration. So in free fall, there is no acceleration. It's because it's the Earth that's coming up to meet it. The Earth is literally moving up right now. So those are the 6 top proofs that debunk the globe, on top of the number 1, which is the fact there is no gravity.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, draw a picture of the Earth.
Nobody knows what the Earth actually looks like as a whole. This is where models comes in.
And how do you know it's not round?
Well, because again, water shows me that. The physics of water doesn't have the ability to bend once contained and at rest at the rate they're telling us. If you're claiming the Earth is a ball, then the oceans have to be bending, and all lakes on Earth also have to be bending, which is physical impossibility. Not only that, the fact that buoyancy shows you the direction of the force. So when you let a helium balloon, it's literally showing you that the force is up. Because if you put an accelerometer, like your phone, everybody's cell phone has an accelerometer. It detects acceleration as well. If you put an accelerometer on a giant helium balloon and you put an accelerometer like on a bowling ball and let them both go, the accelerometer is going to detect the force of the helium balloon, not the steel ball. So that shows us literally physically that the force is up, the force of the Earth. And again, inanimate matter cannot move itself, so the air is being pushed up by the ground. Literally through space. So yeah. So any questions you have before you go?
No, definitely take a look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, appreciate the chat, man. Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. All right, you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.